What better tool for a gentleman to defend himself against ruffians than a cane, right? So this will be a review of the Windlass buffalo horn sword cane, which I've had for almost a year. It's a very affordable sword cane. It's offered for $125 US on museum replicas and other sites as well. As usual, I'm going to post the links down below in the video description along with the specifications. The shaft, or scabbard if you will, is made of fiberglass. The handle is buffalo horn. And the blade is made of mystery carbon steel. They don't say exactly what it is. It only says tempered high carbon steel, which could be a variety of steels. So that's hard to tell. And it's got a rubber tip at the end, just like a walking cane normally would. And it's got this button here to secure it, which does not work, or at least not anymore. At first it did, but it's very weak, really. So you can just pull it out. Ironically, that also makes more sense. Like, personally, I'm not a fan of the button, at least in this case, because it's oddly positioned. Normally you would have your hand here, and then if you had to suddenly draw it, I mean, whether or not a sword cane is a good self-defense tool is debatable, but let's not get into that. But just assuming that you were in a situation where you had to suddenly draw it, changing the grip from here down there and then hitting the button under stress and releasing that just wouldn't work very well, probably. So it is in fact better to just be able to draw it straight out. The problem is it could come out unintentionally. It's not in there very firmly, so that could be a problem. One thing I don't like is how rattly it is. It's not a very good fit. To be fair, you can't expect anything else at that price, really. I'm just going to show you how it's put together. So you've got the grip here threaded onto the tang. The handle is just a hollow tube, and then apparently they stuck the tang through it and filled it with something, be it resin or glue, or I'm not sure what this is. And that's all that holds it together, along with the thread. So this can come loose, and it does with use, which can be an issue also if the handle is slightly compressed through use. Then eventually you may run into the issue that you need to tighten it to the point where it's out of alignment with the rest. If I tighten it fully now, you can probably see that it is slightly off center now. So it doesn't align with the button anymore. So because it is all asymmetrical, that is a bit of a nuisance. The other issue that I found is that the finish on the fiberglass just peels off very easily. You can see here. So the only part that is buffalo horn is the very tip here with the actual grip. This, as you can see here, has signs of wear, and this makes it look pretty, well, crappy, quite frankly. This does not look very good. As soon as the paint chips off, this is going to be very unappealing, which of course for a gentleman's cane is a bit of an issue. So what about the blade itself? It looks nice. It's got a mirror polish. It does not come with an edge, as with all windlass blades, so it's completely dull. For a blade like this, it doesn't need to be sharp. It would help with penetration if it was, but it's really not required. This works just fine, especially since it comes to a fairly fine point. The point is still thick enough, I would say, that you don't have to worry too much about damaging it. When I did the test, I didn't expect much, considering how the handle feels and how the fit is somewhat loose. And the blade ended up taking a set. But I also have to say it took quite a bit for that to happen. I was pretty hard on it because I wanted to see if it really would fail. And I have to say that this is a kind of failure that is easier to forgive. It was not difficult at all to bend it back into shape, and of course it's far better than the blade shattering. I would prefer if the tempering was harder, definitely, it would be more functional. But as it is, I can't criticize it too much, especially considering the price. In the description it says not meant for medical purposes, and I would agree with that. This is not particularly useful for that. I don't find this to be the most comfortable handle. Like if I actually had to put weight on that, that wouldn't be very pleasant in the palm due to the shape. The finger grooves are rather strange. I find they don't fit the fingers really, no matter how I try to hold it. They always feel a little off, and I'm not the only one. Other people have handled this and found the same issue. So the finger grooves just don't really align. It almost feels like they're meant for a reverse grip, but of course that's rather pointless. You wouldn't walk like this, you would use it like that. So this just doesn't really fit all too well. Could you use this just as a stick basically? I don't think so. I think you would just break it pretty easily. It looks nice, but you get what you pay for. It's not particularly high quality. I'd say it is functional, but with some limitations. So I hope you found this interesting, and thanks for watching.